Where were you born and raised, Ivy?
First 4 years, I was born in Manana. I'm sure all of you know where Manana is. That's where you can find the David Livingston tree, where you used to have his meetings and so forth. So it's a historical little village. Yes, and then 4 years after I came to Muchudi, and that's where I spent the rest of my life. Yes.
And have you ever been married before, Ivy?
No. God had a plan for me. You are going to stay single for the rest of your life.
Sure. And that's part of your story, right?
And that's part of my story.
Okay. And what kind of family did you grow up in? Big or small, rich or poor, urban or rural?
Small, big. There's always people coming in, but I mean family, with small family.
Okay.
And hard-working for family, so I can't say I was poor, rich, but comfortable. Average, yes.
All right, and I'm sure you're going to get into that as well. And which were the most important relationships to you growing up?
My family and friends.
Family and friends.
Yes.
And so who do you think played the biggest role in your life and why?
There was an aunt who passed away in 2007. And she was a godly woman, very kind lady, but very, very to the point, straightforward, said what she wanted, being a teacher, of course. So you can imagine, we have some teachers in our communication.
And was she your biological auntie or?
No, it was like an adopted aunt. You know, we just came together. People used to ask me, how are you related? And I would say, in Christ.
Amen. Good. And so what do you think some of your challenges were while growing up?
Well, you know, actually I went to school in Mafeking as I was sent off to Mafeking, and I stayed with a very strict old lady, very nice old lady, godly old lady, but that was my biggest challenge. Was after church, after lunch, I had to go and have a nap and rest while my friends were playing outside on the street. And that hurt me a lot.
So that was a challenge?
That was a challenge. Why? Why should I?
Okay. And have you always been a believing Christian?
Oh yes, I've always been.
So if you could share a story about one of the biggest turning points of your life, Ivy, what would you share?
This aunt again, when she died 2007, and we were all around her bedside. And you know, all this time that she was there, she was praising God, although she couldn't talk because she suffered from Alzheimer's. But I firmly believe in the end her senses were all there, because she would lift up her hands and mumble something and praising God. And I remember my mother one day coming from work, she told me that, oh, your aunt had met that. She was telling me that she saw 3 people and she didn't know the other 2 men, but the one was Jesus and he looked so beautiful. And as she closed her eyes, at that moment I realized my belief in God deceived, because she was serving a loving God. And okay, don't take me wrong, I've always believed in God, but that moment, this is when I say, God is alive, God is there.
Tell us a bit about this Aunt Ivy, a bit about how you came together and the home that you're in.
Oh, she was, my mother was actually working, you know, with them, working. We had a shop that we ran, and that's how we became family. And yeah, and that's us all. And then, of course, because she got married late in life and she didn't have children, and I was her child, and we took care of each other, I could say. And then she inherited everything to me. I inherited everything from her. She bequeathed her property and everything to me.
And what was one of those things that you inherited?
A property.
All right, so tell us a bit about that property. I feel like I'm going to...
Oh, that one.
Yes.
Okay. You want me to tell about the coming of
course,
the
yes.
bond? Okay. And then, oh, you know, when you have a property in this country, to certain people, I wouldn't say all, but the super rich, they become envious. They want to grab that. They want to grab, and I had a lot of people coming. But anyway, to cut a long story short, I had 3 people approaching me wanting to put up a mall, and then with my neighbors around. Okay, the first lot failed. The second guy was slimy. He wouldn't have any documentation and things. But, and for that matter, he was a 7-day Adventist. And I remember one day we were robbed at night. We were robbed at night, and he was trying to get hold of me, and I said, well, we had a robbery, and I was busy with the police and everything. And he said to me, oh, that means you're not protected. And I said to him, oh no, Owen, it can't be. Why all of a sudden should I say I was not protected, and all these years I've been just part of life had to happen. So, and anyway, he was out of the picture because I think he was a crook, tried to crook me. And the third guy came who was genuine. And, but the lady next door refused to get rid of her property. So, and I firmly believe that was God saying, Ivy, you're not going to build anything like the Lord said today, but you won't build the temple, but your children. So I firmly believe that His hand was in this, that I shouldn't do anything, shouldn't agree to anything, and just be comfortable.
And you're still in that house today?
I'm still in that house, yeah, and busy fixing. Anybody for donations, I'm busy fixing my seat.
So just so that the congregation can understand the story right, this house in Machudi that you're in now, you inherited that home from your aunt.
Yes.
And 3 men came wanting to try and take that home
from you. Yeah. You know, actually they wanted to lease the place, you know, put up a shopping mall and yeah.
And tell us about that robbery, Ivy. How did God protect you? What happened? Tell us about
Well, it was, in fact, it was the second time. This guy came through the burglar door, and fortunately my niece Jordan was there. She's a light sleeper. And when I sleep, I'm dead. You can carry me away, I'm gone. And so is my mom as well. She sleeps. We got no care in the world, we sleep. And so I heard, it was 3 o'clock in the morning, I heard Jordan shouting. I thought, why is this so good? They always watch funny videos, so I thought, maybe she's got a nightmare. And as I jumped up, and there was Jordan confronting this guy. But anyway, he managed to slip, and he stood in the passage. And you know, we all froze. We all froze. And he took all of our cell phones, whatever he could lay hands on, and he even took my spaghetti. And yes, he even took spaghetti. And what else out of the grocery cupboard? So it means he had all the time, you know, to go into the kitchen and have fun.
your spaghetti?
My spaghetti in the cupboard here.
No, Vince.
No. I think he didn't have time to get to the fridge.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And so do you believe God protected you during that?
I firmly believe God, because I mean, when Jordan confronted me, he said to Jordan, I will stab you. So he could have stabbed us in our sleep and things like that, you know. Because actually, apparently they burn CDs and then that puts you to sleep.
Sure. And so during all of this, the loss of your auntie, inheriting this home, how did this all make God more real to you, Auntie?
You know, for me, Diane, it's like God is always there, you know. God is always there, and the comfort of her being home, you know, the way she died, and that's what I also asked God the day I said, that's how I would love to depart from this world, you know, knowing that God is there.
And your father, Ivy, where?
No, unfortunately my mother, I'm from a single parent, yeah.
Sure.
So yeah, he's unknown to me. Yeah.
And growing up, not finding a husband, maybe yet, who knows, maybe God's going to...
Oh, please.
We don't know what those name is, but...
Yes, I hope not that.
But do you feel that God has kind of been all that you need, even not having a husband all this time?
He's my husband.
And your father?
And my father, and my mother, and my grandmother, and my grandpa, and he's my everything.
That's amazing.
My everything, yeah.
And so what passage in the Bible do you think relates to you?
To tell you the truth, I haven't thought about that. That one I haven't.
So I have to bring that up.
Yeah, you can compliment me with that.
And what do you think you'd like to leave everybody with today, Harvey?
Okay, I would like to leave people is talk to God. Sit on your bed and talk to Him like I do. And the other thing I'd like to say is that, we always say, I love God, which is true, we love God. But let's be in love with God. Let's be in love with Jesus.
Sure. Ivy's story, when Natasha and I sat with her this week, often we're trying to find these big moments like Benjamin's story where he came from a refugee camp and God just turned things around and gave him an opportunity. For those of you at the ladies retreat, you might have missed Ben's story last week, but his story was just wow. You sit back and you think, how that could only be you, God. But even in the small moments of our life, God is there, and I'm just really struck, Ivy, by how God has just been everything you need. I'm sure your mom loves you very much and is happy to have you at home with her.
Yes.
And Ivy's been working for the same man for how many years now?
Well, actually, I've known him for 22 years, but for now next 12, because for 10 years he left, he went to Johannesburg, and then he came back, and then we started off where we...
And tell everyone where you work, Ivy.
And I'm sure most of them know. Dr. Prison Surgery, yes.
And Ivy says they argue like husband and wife.
Oh yes, we argue like husband and wife. I've got to put him on the straight and narrow, Yes, but he's a lovely guy, he's a nice man. He's got his moods, but I know those moods, so I can sort him out.
And I think Ivy will keep us on the straight and narrow as well.
Yeah, and I'd just like to share this before we finish now.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, Psalm 71 verse 3. Be my rock of refuge to which I can always go. Give the command to save me, for you are my rock and my fortress.
Amen.
Amen.